community, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Pemi and I'm so glad you're doing life with me. Talking about addiction, and I have a special guest with me, my very good friend Tandega, who will be speaking to us from her experience about addiction. I hope we will learn something and be able to support and really just be the kind of people that our loved ones need. So stick with me. Do you call yourself an addict? Like when you speak about your addiction and whatever, do you refer to yourself as an addict?
On the surface level, yeah. Like if somebody is like, oh, why don't you want this? And I'll be like, no, I'm an addict in recovery. Yeah, but if it's like somebody that I have time to talk to and all of that, then it's more of, no, I'm not an addict.
Yeah.
I don't want the label. And not for obvious reasons. I don't want the label because I feel like once you label something, then that's its function and that's its job. So I don't want to be called an addict because then I have to function like an addict. So I would say I'm in recovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you addicted to?
Well, firstly, addiction is lifelong. So I'm addicted to codeine.
So just because you've recovered does not mean you're no longer addicted.
I mean, I'm not recovered. I'm recovering. That's the schlep about being an addict. It's present continuous. Yes.
So it's like healing, basically.
Yes, it is healing. You get stronger, but you don't necessarily overcome it. You just get better at dealing with it and handling it.
Like alcoholism.
Precisely. I am no scientist.
Yeah, no.
So
we are not dealing with science, we're dealing with experience.
Yeah, so from my own experience and how it was explained to me and taught to me, I'm addicted to codeine, which is basically over-the-counter cocaine. If I'm going to simplify it.
Yeah. Codeine is a drug designed to relieve mild to moderate pain and coughing. It is most commonly abused for its calming effects. Although it is not as addictive as other opiates, codeine is still dangerous and habit-forming.
Yeah, so codeine is in most painkillers.
Like Grandpa?
No.
Grandpa doesn't have codeine?
No.
What has codeine?
A lot of the ones that will make you sleepy usually have codeine.
Like Brufen?
Precisely. Well, it depends on the brand. Not all of them will put codeine on, but we're talking about your Adcodols, your Miprodol.
Miprodol.
Yes.
I always have Miprodol in the house.
Cough syrups have codeine, and like when I'm talking to somebody younger, I'll be like, I'm addicted to what Little Wayne does. Yeah. Lean breaks my heart so much.
Why?
It's super dangerous.
Yeah.
Super addictive. And 16-year-olds are doing it.
And it was bad. No, it didn't. I had lean once and I was like, oh no, what the hell? I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
Yes. Boo to lean.
But also, I think the whole, for me, it was definitely interest. I mean, we grew up when Little Wayne was hot.
Yeah.
And a red cup, blue cup was the, you know. And I remember this one time after school, after one of my classes in varsity, I went to my friend's house and we were just chilling. Yeah. And like then we were like, oh, guys, let's do lean. And what sucked is we actually didn't even have the stuff, so we had to go buy.
Y'all were intense.
Yeah. We're like, okay, Fanta, you know. And I remember like when we poured, we all had like, you know, our cups there, feeling really cool. I had to go home, you know. Oh my God. And I started like slowing down.
Yes.
And like I was a varsity student, so no car.
Yeah.
Taxi, honey. Did I not fall asleep in the taxi?
Of course, yeah.
Did I not miss my stop?
Yes.
I woke up and I was like, where are we? You know, I was in the back seat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, where are we? They're like, I see, where do you get off? That was the first and last time. I was like, no.
This ain't it.
What is, yeah.
Also, like, yeah, you wonder, like, why do people do this?
Yes, yes. I was like, I'm not drunk. I'm not high.
Yeah.
I'm slow.
Yeah.
You know,
super slow.
I'm slow.
Yeah.
When did you realize you're addicted?
To
codeine.
To codeine. So, true story. I woke up in hospital. Turns out I had accidentally overdosed.
Oh my god.
Yes. And then I passed out again, and then I woke up in rehab.
Oh my god.
And then they had to, like, explain to me, like, you're an addict.
And
I'm
you're like,
to what?
what
I
do you
mean,
mean?
what?
How old are you?
I was in second year of varsity, 19. 19. And they like, no, you were in the hospital, ICU for a few days, you weren't getting better, you woke up at some point, and the psychiatrist, you had to because all along they thought I was trying to kill myself.
Oh.
Yes. So
when
that's
you
why
overdosed,
yes.
they needed,
Yes.
they needed something.
So they brought a psychiatrist, and apparently during our conversation, I was like, there's no problem here, guys. I just took a little too much today. That's it.
That's it.
And he's like, oh, so you take it every day? I'm like, I mean, yeah, when I need it.
Oh my goodness.
All day. And then, yeah, so I woke up in rehab, and honestly, they really had to, like, sort of school me about codeine. Because first of all, I didn't even know what codeine was. Like I said, I've never done lean because I've never been in the cool things.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
You don't know. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. Okay, wait. I have to. I know you
so bad
barely
at this.
don't know any.
And how do you not? I know you found love in a hopeless place, but your ass started singing like verse 3. Who does that?
That's true. That's true.
People will sing the chorus, man. Who's this? Okay. Who is this?
Nope. I'm not even answering that.
Tyler Perry.
You are getting hate.
Who's Tyler?
Tyler Perry.
Who's the girl one? Terry Perry. Perry? Tyler. Who's that white one? You know what I'm talking about.
This is Rihanna's song.
Oh, okay.
This is not my friend. What do you think people do not understand about addiction? Like, what are the common stigmas or misconceptions or just like wrong information that you hear?
I think the first one I would put on my list is people thinking addiction is a choice. There's no way I would have chosen this. No, it's not a choice. So that is usually the biggest thing. Like, why am I? Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Secondly, would be the stigma around it. Like, for example, the second time I went to rehab, I don't even know why, but we were like, with my family, we're gonna say I'm on a work trip.
Oh.
Yeah, because stigma is a real thing, and it's not that my parents were embarrassed or whatever, but also you sometimes just don't want to have a conversation. You get people who like reach out to you on some, they want to be there for you and whatever, but you really get the sense that they want to be here for me so that it's known that they were.
Oh, that they were there.
Yes, you understand?
Oh my god, like it's performative.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that I like, and people who want to know the whole story,
not because they care, but because they're curious.
Yes, and so that's why I was like, no, I went on a long work trip. That's it, because I'm not gonna be anyone's currency, trying to get favor, public favor, and all that. No, not this girl.
What do you wish you had done differently?
In terms of my recovery,
like, I know that you only really realized you're addicted in varsity.
Mm-hmm.
But was there never a time, like in high school, where you thought, like, were you taking the pills in secret?
Mm-hmm.
So you knew that you had to keep this hush hush.
Yes, and not
Why?
because I knew I was taking too much compared to a normal person.
Yes.
Yes.
And what was the message you were saying? Like, what was the story you were telling yourself about how many pills you're taking?
I didn't really think of it like that. It was more of, it was like a reward system. So I didn't think of the long term or the end goal. I needed something to motivate me to finish my homework. Then I would say, okay girl, if you do your homework, you get 3. And I'd be like, say less. I got you. Yeah, like I'll be cleaning the house, and like if you do the dishes, you're gonna take 5. And that's actually how I overdosed by mistake that day.
Oh,
yeah.
You know how people sometimes who overeat, food is their reward as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's almost the connection in your brain. If I do this, then I get to have a sweet.
Yes, precisely. Yeah. And then also, when all of this is done, by the time this high is like at its peak, you can sleep. So like it was such it was a very vicious cycle. Just because you're strong today and it's been 15 years since you've last taken codeine, you don't know, or you don't want to know what happens the day you take that again, you know, because that was the biggest thing that I completely got wrong the first time. Actually, the first time I was in rehab, within 2 weeks I was already back on codeine. And in my mind I was like, yeah, but I'm just taking, you can't even compare it. It's way less.
What did you need from your support system to get you through?
The biggest thing is making sure that my support system is educated in the sense of whatever I'm going through. If you're taking care of somebody with TB, for example, you go and research TB and you find out what's the best way to support this person. So it's really the same way. If you look at this as a lifelong disease, a chronic disease, I think you would probably be better equipped in how to handle it in general. So I needed to make sure that my parents know what codeine is, what addiction to it is, and that's the mistake we all made as a family, because the same way I assumed with T, once I'm out of rehab, we sorted. Everybody was like, yeah.
All right, man.
All right. Yeah, and because unfortunately for my parents, and because I started this thing in primary school, so this is the only version of me they know.
Oh,
Hi.
yes.
All the time.
When did you start taking codeine?
Grade 7.
When you were 13.
Yeah.
And you went to rehab in second year when you were 19.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So when I came the second time to them, this time when I went to rehab the second time, I actually was like, I'm heading towards an overdose, because I couldn't keep count of how many I've taken, and I was finding them in weird places, so I'm trying to hide the pills from myself. Like I had Adcodols in the fridge, there was some under my spare tire in the car. How did it get there? What level of desperation is that? Like Niyazfihlela from myself, not. I was living alone. Don't you dare think I'm hiding it from
someone.
No, it's just me and myself, and I'm just like, I need to find a place to hide this.
Otherwise, I'm gonna take it.
For what reason? Definitely, when you open the box, it's empty, which means I keep going for it. It's addiction is not cute. Let me just say that. There's a lot of desperation involved, and so back to your question about it, family and support structure. They needed to know what this thing is, so they can see the magnitude of what is coming. The easy part was me being an addict. The hard part is me being in recovery. And I remember my one counselor was like, they were so surprised by my dad's response because at first he came in with this thing is for white people.
What the like counseling, group counseling,
the group counseling, and the like, you know, the whole addiction thing. And by the end of it, he was like, "Why doesn't every street in the township have this?"
He saw her.
You need this because he's like, I had no idea pills like they help you.
Yes.
What do you mean?
So we actually potentially have so many other codeine addicts that don't know.
Ma'am, codeine in South Africa is a serious problem. Absolutely serious problem. In my own family and alone, almost all my aunts and uncles are to some extent addicted
to codeine.
I am still in recovery because I get headaches when I see Adderall, and that's me craving. I can't trust. I'm much better now because before, if I'm visiting your house, I know where your medicine cabinet is, and I'm gonna try and find anything for me. And so now I can even be left alone in a house with codeine, and so I say I'm stronger, but definitely still in recovery.
Okay.
Especially on low days, I can taste it in my mouth. I'm like, this thing would be solved, yes.
Thank you. Do you regret it?
That's a very tricky question, honestly, because I'm not really sure who I would be right now if it wasn't for it. But at the same time, I can't not act like it wasn't a disaster, you know? But to some extent, I think if it wasn't codeine, it would have been something else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It seems, how did I start codeine? Self-medicating. What was I self-medicating? A mental disorder that I wasn't aware of. You know? So that's the first thing they did when I got to rehab. They diagnosed me with bipolar. And so I explained to you earlier that this codeine numbs certain parts of the brain. So from grade 7 up until second year, basically, I was numb. I didn't have emotions. I didn't cry. I couldn't cry. I didn't know what crying was at all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was just zen the whole time.
Oh my. Most chilled
person. Most chilled, most confident person. But no, I was just super high.
Did you date in like high school?
No, not in high school. In high school, I was asleep most of it.
Like a complete blur.
Yeah, and I think that's what like kind of makes me sad when I look back. Is that the adults in my life didn't like, how did nobody pick this up? This girl is sleeping 80% of the time.
How did you pass?
Precisely.
Yo, girl. This is hectic.
Yeah, how did I pass? I have no idea. Like
matric, I
was such an average child.
Yeah.
That like I didn't really, I didn't need support.
I think also the other thing is, like really smart kids, when you're smart, like parents kind of back off.
Yes.
Because they have this thing like, no, she's fine.
She's fine, yeah.
You're a very smart person, but because you were like in this mellow space, you could do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And that would be enough.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like even with matric, I remember when the results were coming out, I was like, oh, I'm about to die. Because definitely during the exams, I would rock up at school and not even know
what you're writing.
Yeah, it was such a mess. How did no teacher go, girl, you sleep too much? Nobody.
And okay, when it was time to study at home, like who was checking? Like, did anyone know your timetable?
No, I was very much left to my own devices.
How many pills were you taking on average?
A
day.
During the week, I would say I would try to keep it under 28 per day.
Under 20 pills a day.
Yeah, so I can function somewhat. The first time I went to rehab, it was a mess. I don't think they were fully equipped in handling my specific addiction, because the withdrawals were brutal.
Really?
Oh my word.
Like what?
Ma'am, you know in the movies when the person is in the shower, like I was just like, what nonsense is this? I am shaking, I'm cold, I want to cry. Like,
wow.
everything to me, like the senses wise, was like tripled. Like the floor felt extra hard. Everything was just too much. Hated it. Hated it. And so the second time I went to rehab, I went to a 12-step facility for substance abuse. That was their focus. And they got me in the 12-step, and the detox was, I want to say, a breeze. You don't want your life to revolve around this thing. It should be like a chip in your back, but it shouldn't be like
your whole life.
My whole life.
If you are struggling with any form of addiction, please don't be ashamed. Call this toll-free number. Wow. That's it from us. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've subscribed to my channel. Click the thumbs up and don't forget to switch on your notifications so you don't miss out on any other videos from me and Thandeka.
Don't do drugs. Bye.